Am I wrong for refusing to pay my sister's wedding expenses after she called my child a mistake? Now she thinks I'm overreacting. Hi guys, so I created a profile just for this. I have a main account I use for my art. I don't really know how to post on this sub though, so please excuse any mistakes. Also, I think it's important to give a TW, as this had violence and death involved, and I know from personal experience that it can be triggering, so I F32, Deanna, am the eldest of 5 siblings, and I've taken on the role of the family caretaker for as long as I can remember. I helped our parents until their passing, and frankly, it's exhausting. Dad died of brain cancer 3 years ago, and it was heartbreaking to watch him deteriorate over time, and Mom passed peacefully overnight after a long, hard battle with breast cancer earlier this year. So as the oldest, I just sort of became the de facto parent. I don't mind as I love my siblings, and it's kind of my thing to big sister friends and family a lot. I'm sort of ship's counselor, and I financially help out my family. I don't mind as I work in tech, have a side gig doing art, and inherited land and money from Mom and Dad, all that to say it's no real loss. A few years ago, I adopted my cousin's Charlie M45 child, who I will just use her nickname Decker. My baby loves kickboxing, after my cousin went to prison for murdering the Decker's mother in an alcohol and drug-fueled rage, which is too long a story to add here. It was a chaotic year of mourning, paperwork and court hearings, but the adoption was finalized when the Decker was 5. Now she's a happy, healthy 13-year-old who calls me Mom. She's in therapy and has been since I legally could send her, as she witnessed her mother's death, and I couldn't be prouder of how resilient she is. She's my girl, my rock star, my whole heart, and I call her that, literally my heart. Fast forward to my sister's, Clara, F30, upcoming wedding. I was thrilled for her at first, and she asked me to be MO. I cried in joy and offered for my wife Honey because we like the incredible LLF40 and I to pay for it. Don't worry, I asked Honey first. But during a bachelorette dinner I set up, she made a hurtful comment about my daughter, calling her a mistake and saying I shouldn't have taken her in. I stared at her and asked her what she meant, and she said it wasn't like I was supposed to even have kids, as I am married to another woman, then said no hate or anything and laughed, but then she doubled down that Decker is likely damaged and a handful. Guys, Decker is the sweetest child alive. I mean, she is a teen, so yeah, sometimes she can get challenging or rebellious here or there, but when I say she is my whole heart, I mean it. She made us a family and made our house a home. She smiles easy, cries openly, and has the emotional intelligence I wish I had myself. She always asks, "How are you doing?" And she really means it, willing to listen to people. But she's a damaged mistake. I felt like a character in a dark, twisted episode of a sci-fi show. Defending my choice to adopt felt like fighting the Borg, like I just wouldn't assimilate. I didn't laugh it off with my sister and her friends. I just stared at her in pure disbelief. I think she knew I was hurt because she quickly changed the subject. I said I better get home, paid for everything in 3 more rounds, and went home to my family. My sister came over the next day to yell at me for leaving and cutting them off after the 3 rounds I paid for. She said I owe her a do-over for ruining the whole weekend because I can't take a joke. Honey, who I of course told what happened, asked my sister to repeat exactly what she said about our daughter. My sister refused and kept calling Decker Charlie's child, and I just was holding back so many tears. I told my sister that I wouldn't be contributing a dime to her wedding expenses, that I won't stop helping her pay her rent up until she moves in with her husband, but I won't be in or pay for the wedding of a person who sees my child as a mistake. Honestly, I was ready to go full-on jetty and sever that connection, but Honey helped me temper myself. My sister lost it, threw the can of soda water we gave her at me, screamed, "How am I supposed to pay for this?" And I said, "You have over a year, you can save up." So left, showing Honey out of the way in the process, and blew up our sibling group chat. My other siblings are split. Some think I'm overreacting with cutting off funds for the wedding, while others agree that my sister crossed a line and needed the wake-up call. Now, I feel bad for my sister. I do love her and she is distressed by this. But I can't shake the feeling that standing up for my daughter is more important. Ada for refusing to pay for her wedding after that. I am adding this in edit option. I've been working on my work project at a local brewery and have been silently sobbing and reading the comments. Also, wow, so many comments. I was trying to reply to everyone, but I honestly ran out of steam. I sent this post to my wife, and also just bracing myself to talk to Decker tonight. We want to ask her if her aunt has done or said anything cruel to or about her. I am wishing hard that she's just confused by our questions and remain oblivious of this shitstorm. I love my heart. I want her to always remain the bright, fun, loving, encouraging person she is. I don't want her to know anything about what her aunt has said. I texted my sister if she meant this. If she really sees me, my wife, and our daughter that way, or was she just drunk and stupid and doubled down in embarrassment. That said, I don't want her near Decker anytime soon. I feel so lost. I wasn't planning on ever being a parent, and there is no fucking manual for this. What do I even do? Wish me luck for tonight. I will need it, because if Decker tells us her aunt has been cruel to her face, I will have to hold my wife back from swinging on my sister. Next story. Am I wrong for disagreeing with my wife's decision to never learn how to cook? Now she says I'm being unreasonable. My wife, 24, and I, 26-year-old female, are struggling in our marriage, as she believes she does not need to help cook or prepare food, or even help clean up after, besides dishes. She was raised in a family with no chores, and they had a maid come clean the house. She has never learned to cook and cannot boil water despite me walking her through it. She just loses patience. I love my wife and have taken time out of our evenings to show her how to cook and measure spices, for example. She lasts about 2 minutes before either walking away or throwing a tantrum that she doesn't want to learn, and I should be the only who in this house who has to know how to cook. The other night, I got home from work and was exhausted since it has been a busy week in healthcare. She complained she has not spent enough time with me these past few days, so I offered to have her cook with me, so she can learn while also spending time together. I thought it would be cute to make a recipe together that we never ate before. She threw a fit and said she just wanted to TV, but eventually agreed to sit in the kitchen with me. About 10 minutes in, I asked her to wash a grill rack since she usually does the dishes when I cook. Surprise, she threw a tantrum. Eventually she did it, because she was hungry, and I was busy cooking 3 different parts of the dinner. A few minutes later, I had to go outside too and grill some chicken, and I asked if she could start putting some spices away so I would have less cleanup. I think you know what happened next. She eventually stopped yelling and complaining and put some stuff away, though I gave her her plate of food first to enjoy since I still had some cleaning up to do. I talked to some friends about it, and they said if it was their significant other who never cooked, they would eventually said they had to prepare their own meals if they would not help. I have mentioned in the past she should learn to cook on her own for numerous reasons, but one being that she is a very picky eater, so anything I do cook, I have to prepare differently and separately. I am also the one who does the handyman duties as well as take care of all the bills and yard work. I do have to give credit where credit is due and mention that she does the dishes and puts the laundry away. Ida for wanting her to learn how to cook and or at least help in preparing the kitchen.